Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. Off camera, running the chat room, is Jessica Lee, who is all things Inspire Nation. I'm so excited to see so many of you here this evening. Looks like my chat has gone down, though. I do wonder what I do about that. Well, that's going to be rather interesting. The live chat has gone down for me. When we get to chat, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to try hitting refresh, and we'll see if it stays on or if it does not. So that'll get rather exciting. That's actually what I want to talk with you about tonight. So kind of cool that the chat window has gone down for now, and I'm going to have to try to figure it out. I think what I can do when we get to it is if I can get the share link. My guess is that I can get things. There it is. I got the pop-out chat going. Very, very cool. That's what I want to talk about tonight. Right now, it is so easy to feel spun, to feel like things are out of control, to feel like, well, just watch the news and you get the idea. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way at all. There's a concept that I like to teach called Tai Chi Energy. And you may have heard of Tai Chi as a way that we can move energy. In fact, you'll see people moving very slowly, doing these circular-like motions, where you're going, what are they doing and how is that a martial art? Actually, it takes even more control to do it slowly. And you have to feel the energy, latch onto it, and then start to move it around. But what you can do when you Tai Chi energy is you can take energy from feeling like it's completely over the top. You can drop it down, bring it in, and help move it out in whatever way you desire. What does that mean? Well, I don't view this as a negative time period. I do view it as a holy crap time period for sure, and an oh my God, and anything else of that sort. But I go, wow, systems are falling apart. Wow, everything's under stress. Wow, look at all the magnificent, beautiful energy of change. That doesn't mean that I'm not concerned about loved ones getting sick, about myself getting sick, or about any of this stuff. Although I do know we're spiritual beings having a human existence, I don't wish grief on anybody. I don't wish anybody to lose their job. I don't wish economic hardship. I don't wish any suffering. But at the same time, and really when we look at the world from an energetic point of view, we realize that everything is a paradox. Everything both exists and doesn't exist at the same time. Everything is good and bad at the same time. We'll talk more about that in a minute because those are labels. But certainly we can say, wow, this is a really challenging time period for people. And at the same time, if we learn how to play with energy, it can be an incredible time period as well. Why? Because we are now, as an individual, as a people, as a species, we are lighter than ever. Systems that once were firmly moored in place are coming apart. Everything is coming apart in the seams. I don't say that to be negative. I say that to say we can re-envision something even better, something so much more special, something where, for instance, I'm not a competition kind of guy, which is interesting. I tried to make it to the Tour de France. I was a professional cyclist. I trained at the Olympic Training Center. On and on it goes in my competitive life. But I don't believe in competition. I believe in co-opetition. How can we work together? How can we become one? How can we Tai Chi this energy that says we must fight against each other, left against right, red against blue, China against US, whatever it is. And instead we can go, wait a second, one world, one country, one being. We're all cells, a part of the human beingness. How do we work together on this? So this means, we had on recently Mitch Horowitz. I love Mitch. We were talking about Neville Goddard and Napoleon Hill. And what we were talking about is Napoleon Hill is have a very specific goal and march forward toward it. Neville Goddard is a focus on the feeling, focus on the energy. Don't worry about that specific goal. Focus on the energy and it will come about. I'm a two-step guy. I think it's actually a little bit of both. And that's what I was talking about with Mitch Horowitz. However, Neville, well, both of them, but really Neville was onto something. And what Neville said, many have said, Dr. Joe Dispenza has said, Bruce Lipton has said, Greg Braden has said, where the attention goes, energy flows. So if we want, I'll say that again, where attention goes, energy flows. What does this mean? This means if we want to up-level our lives, if we want to thrive, not just survive. Survive is like so low on the baseline. If we want to thrive through this time, we get to watch our own personal energy and where our attention flows. If you haven't caught, tonight is all about energy and anchoring. Guess that would have been another good term. Energy and anchoring. If your attention, and I admit, I've spent a lot of time on the news trying to digest, trying to understand stuff, but then now I get the heck away. I get in, find what I need, get out. Get in, get out. Because I want to watch where my attention goes. So we're going to be going on tour in a couple months. What does that mean? I dive in, I look at the news, I try to see how that's going to affect the tour, try to see how that's going to affect you, our viewer, how that's going to affect us. And then I immediately jump. I like linking things. I make micro habits. I can't recommend it enough. I will link a habit that says, if you check the news, you must go to figure out your tour, figure out your map, figure out your RV, figure out your tow vehicle. In other words, I want to take my attention, which is saying, all right, what do I need to know here? Wow, that's filled with a lot of energy. And now I want to take that energy, move it around, and bring it exactly to where I want to go. I was out on a run earlier today, and I was trying to drop thought. And actually, it was easier. I was on a trail. I broke a rib on this trail last year. I hit a tree root. I didn't fall, but the act of jolting forward and trying to catch myself, I still managed to break a rib. So I was out running on there today. And I've got my poles and I am flying along. And I went to a mantra. How does this trip come together so incredibly easily? How does life work out so incredibly easily? Why is this trip so easy? Why is life so easy? Why is abundance so easy? I kept on asking why question, why question, why question, why question as I was running along. And I wasn't looking for an answer. What I was doing is, I call myself an alchemist. I'm talking about energy here. I like to play on the other side of the veil. What does that mean? Well, all the way back since the beginning of the Bible and the Egyptians and the beginning of hermetics and hermetic science. And so way before the Egyptians even, there was the concept of as above, so below. As above, so below. That means we are all energetic beings where attention goes, energy flows. If I put questions on the other side of the veil, why does life keep getting easier and easier? Why is this tour coming together so incredibly easily? If I put those questions out there on the other side of the veil, then universe, aka the genie, and there is a giant genie of Aladdin's lamp in a sense, goes, your wish is my command. Let's see what I can do based on your very specific question. Here's where the specificity of Napoleon Hill comes in. I don't believe it's in an exact dollar goal. Those are helpful. I don't believe it's an exact outcome. That is helpful. But I believe it is asking very specific questions. Whether it's angel, God, universe, giant cheeseburger in the sky, whatever you want to call it, the more specific questions you ask, the better answers you will get. I truly believe that we are surrounded by angels, by archangels, by guardians, by protectors, by whatever you want to call it. However, other than a last moment, almost near-death experience, or like that bus coming out and you grabbing the steering wheel at the last second, and you don't even know why you turned that steering wheel. Other than that, I believe they have a do not intervene policy unless you ask. Angels, why do things keep getting easier and easier? Angels, why are my finances getting better and better? Why does great job opportunity, I can't say opportunity tonight. I can say it there though. Why does great job opportunity after job opportunity after job opportunity keep coming keep coming my way? Yes, it is quality questions. Ask the right questions, you get the right answers. We teach a process called automatic writing. Automaticwriting.com, you can find it. I think we have a class. I believe it's 2 weeks from now. This week is our magical evening routine. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But when you go into automatic writing in the morning, a process by which you can commune with the universe, you can literally get answers from your inner wisdom, from angels, from guides, like Neil Donald Walsh, from God. You can get these answers. But you'll want to ask good questions. So in this time period where energy is swirling all around us, we can go and watch the news and go, oh my God, mask. Oh my God, election. Oh my God, Portland. That's a big oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Or you can ask very specific, pointed questions. Why do things keep getting better? Why are we making an incredible transition? Or even more specific, where do I go exactly from here? What is the one next step I take? What is the one most important thing I focus on today? Specificity, specificity, specificity. But do not label. I'm jumping here. I'm jumping from specificity to energy. Hang in there. Do not label what you see. That is, again, attention goes where, or attention, energy flows where attention goes. If you label a situation as, that's bad, that's very bad. And believe me, I'm really concerned about things. I don't go into politics on this show, but I have some very substantial concerns. However, instead of saying, that's bad, I go, oh my God, that's a lot of energy over there. This has the potential to be something that's really, really good. I don't have to know how. I don't have a clue, guys. I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know how this is going to play out. But I know that I'm going to focus on that positive outcome. Now, going back to good and bad is a very, I guess I could say that, dangerous choice of words. Well, I'm going to say bad is bad. And I'm going to say good can be even better. In fact, that's an answer that a lot of people give. I'm not sure if that came from Napoleon Hill, Neville. I'm not sure who it is. Somebody will put it here. Q will probably know it is. My day is going good and even better. Zig Ziglar. That's who it was. My day is going great and even better is my guess as to what Ziglar used to say. Thank you, angels, for dropping that in my head. The day is going great or even better. When you say that, you're bringing more of it about. But be careful not to label anything as bad, because we're energetic beings, which means we create with our minds, we create with our words. Oh my God, is mind a creator? Oh my God, are you a creator with your words? Also, if you identify anything as something, it's boxed in there. Now you could say, oh my God, today's weather is terrible. It's going to rain. Okay, maybe. However, if you're in forest fire country, maybe that rain is the greatest gift in the world. Or maybe there will be unforeseen consequences by the reservoir filling up that you won't even know. A day, a month, a week, a year, maybe even 10 years. We don't know. All we know for sure is its energy. All we know for sure about this time period is it's energized now more than ever. But we can use this energy. We can play with this energy. We can feel this energy and surf it. So let's talk about a few more specific things you can do to play with this energy. One, we've got to get you anchored first. What do you mean? We are playing with so much energy. It's easy to get spun. It's easy to get overwhelmed. I remember once being in New Jersey with Jessica, and I'm driving down the road. She's in the house, and I'm going, oh my God, I feel so overloaded. And a transformer in the neighborhood blew. Sparks went out. I drove to Trader Joe's. I drove back, and the neighborhood was blacked out. Was it me? Probably on some energetic level. Do I know how to work that? No, not at all. However, I wasn't becoming conscious and cognizant of my energy. And I, or it, or the transformer had a blowout. So we get to watch our energy and dial it back. That starts in the evening. I think the majority of us, probably you, certainly me, have been challenged with getting to bed at a reasonable hour and without feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or spun. I'd argue our evenings right now are probably the most important and sacred time of the day for setting our entire lives up for success. We need an anchoring evening routine so that we don't, in essence, feel hungover, feel spun. And I'm not talking about drinking here. We all know that feeling of waking up exhausted and feeling like we've been hit by a train. We're waking up feeling exhausted. We're waking up feeling overwhelmed. We're waking up feeling stressed, feeling anxious. And that's if we're not getting sick, which is a huge gratitude to be waking up for in the morning. If, on the other hand, we put some strategies and pieces in place in the evening, you'll wake up at peace. You'll wake up with greater, I want to say bliss, greater bliss. Is there such a thing as greater bliss? Bliss is bliss. You'll wake up with a sense of bliss in the morning. And then you can turn on the news and email and go, oh. However, we can shift your energy in the evening to give you more reserves in the morning. It's why we're teaching a whole class on this. We have a whole program, over 40 different videos to help you sleep easier, to help you get a deeper night's sleep, to help you get into a better quality sleep, and to help you set yourself up for success by using your evening routine to help you in the morning. We've got over 40 video program on it, but we're also teaching a class on it, which includes those 40 videos, this Thursday. And I know Jessica's going to put a link in here. It's called our Magical Evening Routine. When you do things in the evening that help your subconscious work on the positives, again here, energy flows where attention goes. I cannot come back to this enough. How many of us are watching zombie movies, zombie news, or stuck on Facebook, Instagram, or God knows where, and are just ingesting junk in a sense? There's an expression in programming, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. GIGO has never been more true than in the evenings. Another reason we're going to work on this whole program to kind of scrub your mind at night so that that's not what your subconscious is working on. If I go to bed and the last thing I see is a Trump or an anti-Trump, a red or a blue, a Antifa, or a police. I don't care what side, but I watch any of this stuff that gets my nervous system up. What do you think my subconscious is going to be working on all night? It's going to be going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And you're going to wake up in the morning going, oh my God, oh my God. You may not even know it, but you'll wake up with this almost like you were plugged into an icky electrical outlet. I used to have a lot of troubles in the morning with Jessica. This is years ago, and she is my angel. I can see your positive comments. She is my angel. The reason I was having so much trouble with Jessica in the morning was because of my dreams over the night before. I wasn't treating my evening as sacred. Now I go into prayer before I go to sleep, no matter what. I set intention. I do the equivalent of ceremony, everything but pull out the drums, so that my mind is working on something so incredibly positive when I sleep. Why? Because right now, folks, we need to put money in the bank. And I'm not talking about dollars, although those are certainly great. When I'm talking about putting money in the bank, I'm talking about how much energy. How much energy can I put in the bank so that I have energy in reserve for the following day? And if I go to bed focused on whatever, then the next day I have this concept. I love it. Shaman Durek once said it too. I'd heard it before that, but it stuck with me since Shaman Durek. He says, everything can be a tap or a drain. If you want to thrive, not just survive, if you want to thrive through this time, then you get to ask, is everything I'm ingesting, the show here, the news, what I take out of the cabinet, the conversations that I have, the conversations in my head, and what I program my mind before I go to sleep, is it a tap filling up my reservoir, my energy bank, or is it a drain? Is it draining away? Every single thing you get to ask, but perhaps no more importantly than in the evening. So let's talk real briefly about the morning. And again, you can find out about our magical evening routine. We're going to have class. It's live. You'll be able to ask your questions. And be on Zoom. That'll be this Thursday, which I'm very, 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 very excited about. Because if I can help you shift your evening routine, then your 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours at night become a massive tap for the day ahead. And the thing about energy, so money is energy. What do we know about money? What do we know about interest? It compounds. One thing builds on the next, builds on the next, builds on the next, builds on the next, and it goes up exponentially. The same can be said for filling your energy banks. We put a little in the evening, we put a little in the morning, it compounds. We put a little more in the next evening, we put a little bit more in the next morning, it compounds until you look at everything going on around you and you go, I have no idea what's going on, unless maybe you do, in which case, please let us know. However, I've got this. Why have you got this? Because of how much energy you put in the tank. So you wake up in the morning, you filled your tank as much as you could. You go to a place of gratitude. How do we Tai Chi things? They talk about Course in Miracles, talks about love over fear. What's the ultimate love over fear? Gratitude. You can't be a pissed off you know what, and at the same time have gratitude. When you're going, thank you, thank you, thank you, that to me, gratitude is the precursor of love. It is one infinitesimally small slip between gratitude and love. You wake up in the morning, you go, thank you, I'm still here. Thank you, I'm healthy. Thank you, my feet still work. You're talking to somebody with 2 near-death experiences, twin titanium femurs, twin titanium hips, and lots of metal parts that hold everything together. I'm waking up going, thank you, thank you, thank you. Although I'm doing it quietly because the Pookie goes to sleep later than me, and Jessica needs her sleep. So I say it quietly. And then I go to anchor in the goodness for my day. Energy flows where attention goes. If I start my day on a crappy note, what's going to happen? Yeah, more crappiness. If I start my day going into a beautiful meditation, sitting with the squirrels and chipmunks, and yes, I quite literally sit with the squirrels and chipmunks. That's a story for another day. I go into automatic writing. I give thanks. I ask what's going on. I listen. And then I set intention for the day ahead. Guess what? I've just set my trajectory. I've just laid down my railroad tracks. I've just said where I want the energy to flow for the day. And guess what? That's where it's going. Yes, I can see a tiny bit of a discussion. If you don't have a good night's sleep, a huge reason to come to our program on Thursday, then you are stuck in a fight or flight response. If you've had 10 hours of sleep and somebody cuts you off on the road, you're going to be like, yeah, buddy, it's okay. If you had 5 or 6 hours nights, 5 or 6 hours of sleep, or you've been exhausted all week and you're totally exhausted and you're at wit's end and somebody cuts you off or flips you off, it's go time. Why? Because when you don't have enough sleep, you ain't operating on a full brain. You're operating on the amygdala and the basal ganglia and all of the lizard-like programming that says I've got just one choice here: fight, flight, or freeze. I guess that's 3 possibilities for this one question. But if I recharge your tanks, you have better choices that can be made. Going back to your morning, energy flows where attention goes. If we can set an intention, what do I want for today? What's the one single most important thing? What's that one thing that would make me happy after the day? Or, since we're talking about goals and thriving during this time, what's that one little baby step I can take forward today, or step forward with today, that will begin to change everything? So the world is hyped up right now. It is on complete and total overdrive. It is easy to get swept away in that energy and think, I need to take action now. I need to take action now. If I don't take big action, you get it, now, then nothing's going to work out, and act out of a collective sense of panic. It's even easy for me to get into that track if I'm not careful. But as a general rule right now, this is one of my most favorite spirit animals. This is Henry the tortoise, or this represents my spirit animal. There is nothing that you're doing quickly that can't be done twice as well at half the speed. The more you slow things down, the more you will get done right now. The better your decisions, the more quality you will bring to everything, and the more you'll be acting as the tap rather than the drain. Which means I know there are some amazing motivational speakers out there, sort of like Tony Robbins, who say take massive action. while the whole world right now appears that it needs massive action, I would argue just the reverse. It needs micro action over a massive period of time. I'm the kind, gentle, easy, good guy. I'm really strong when it comes down to it. I run mountains almost every other day with my titanium parts. But I built up really slowly, really gently, really kindly. Why? Because if I go from zero and say, I haven't been running at all, but I'm going to get into it. I'm going to go run 10 miles today. What's going to happen? I'm broken tomorrow. I'm done. What if I say, I want to become a marathon runner, and I quickly build? What happens? I get an overuse injury and I'm cooked. But what if I say, my goal is to do the Boston Marathon, the New York Marathon, whatever's the local marathon or whatever of the sort, whatever's your marathon, after we get out of this COVID time. And I'm going to start by doing just a 100-yard jog today. And then I'm not even going to do anything tomorrow. I'm just going to rest, let my body recover. And then I'm going to add 100 yards the next day. I don't do it the next, then 100 yards more, and then 100 yards more. What's going to happen? Your body is going to adapt. You're going to grow incredibly strong. And by marathon day, it's easy peasy. Why? Because of the micro steps you took. So right now, we don't need massive action. I think massive action can get us in a lot of trouble right now because massive action is a boomerang. Oh, I'm going to react to this. I'm going to react to that. I'm going to react to the other thing. To thrive during this time, not just to survive, we cannot react. We have to go centered. We have to get that good night's sleep. We have to get up with intention. Live your day intentionally and take the small steps forward for you. That's what's so incredibly important. So ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish for this day? What's one thing I want to do? Or what's one tiny step I can take each and every day to move the needle forward? One tiny little step. So with that said, I want to open it up to questions now. I see a lot of conversations going on about the magical evening routine. That is both one small and one massive step you can take forward. Because if we can get your evening routine anchored, forget about that. If I can get you sleeping better at this time, because all of my coaching clients are saying, Michael, either I'm having trouble getting to sleep or I'm stuck waking up at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4. If I can help you with this, getting a deeper night's sleep, turning your evening into a tap, filling your energy bank, and helping set you up for a glorious day ahead, you'll be able to handle whatever comes your way. Again, you've got a full tank here, and you'll be able to chip away at that mountain, turning it into whatever you desire. So with that said, I want to open it up to questions here, and feel free to ask your questions. And I think Jessica is going to type in the chat room or copy in, or I don't know how this is going to work here.
The Google Doc.
The bottom of the, ooh, wow. Wow, very, very cool. All right, from Desi Kranz. What is a tool you use to connect to your heart and the connectedness and oneness? And I'm going to, hold on here, Desi. I am going to scoot over just a little bit because I am getting beamed with some beautiful rays of sunshine. And I love that. And I gaze each morning, which is maybe a whole different topic. But because of that, I may not notice that it's going into my eyes, but it'll look rather weird for you. All right, what is one tool that I use? My go-to tool above and beyond all else is automatic writing. We're actually finishing up our automatic writing book. It's going to be out in January from G&D Publishing. It was supposed to be out in September. You could say it got COVIDed. I think it was for the best. The book is getting even better now. But we have an automatic writing program, automaticwriting.com, where you can learn everything that's in the book and much more. Automatic writing is my oxygen. So like this morning, got up late. Jessica and I ended up for a glorious, what turned out to be 5-mile, 1,000-foot plus of elevation gain hike last night at sunset and beyond. I didn't see that one coming. And so I got up a little bit late this morning, and my job on Sunday is to work on the book. And Jessica asked, "Are you going to do your automatic writing?" My nervous system replied, no, sorry, I'm going to jump right into my book. At which point automatic writing, since I've done it so long, in my head said, au contraire, you're going to automatic writing before you write your automatic writing book. And so I went into automatic writing, and it helped ground me for the day ahead. Helps me with intention, helped me with where I wanted my energy to flow. I answered some questions, or got answers to some questions on what's going on in the universe right now and what's going on in our lives. And it's a technique. You go into meditation or trance-like state, you put pen to paper, and you go, whoa. And the pen basically starts moving, and you get answers. It's kind of like telegraphs from God. I had never thought of it that way. That's my number one tool. I will have to put a second one on here, which is I am trying to stay in a state of conversation with God, with Source, with universe, as much as I possibly can. Now, since I've done automatic writing so much, I do get answers to my questions in my head, but the answers are actually there for all of us. We just have to clear away some of the layers of competing voices in our mind, we can say. But I am continuously asking questions of the universe. I am continuously going into a state of prayer. I am continuously trying to treat each moment as ceremony. So as I sat down beforehand, I did everything but go on the drums, quite literally, to create a sacred vessel from which to speak to you. With that said, I can see my battery is starting to run low. I see the plug is unplugged. I am going to plug that in. Bear with me 1 second here. There we go. So let us go from Desi. Let's go to Zoe Blue and keep these great questions coming. What is the fifth dimension, and how do I know what dimension I am in? That is a fun question, Zoe, and I don't tend to talk much about different dimensions. However, with that said, we are operating in either third dimension or fourth dimension most of the time. So Einstein talks about relativity. Energy equals mass times a constant squared. What does that mean? It means that we have our physical beingness and we have time. That's 4 dimensions. When we go up to fifth dimensions, we're playing on the energy side of things on the other side of the veil is the best way that I like to describe it. Extremely layman's terms. I'm sure there are people going to be going on here going, what are you saying, Michael? In essence, when we talk about being fifth dimensional, I think about is you are remembering that you are a spiritual being having a human existence. Yes, Zoe, we are 3D, but we are 3D, 3-dimensional, operating in time, the 4th dimension. Then when we go on to the other side of the veil, now we are at 5 dimensions or beyond. What's the importance of this? I tend to stay away from this language because I feel like if I say, oh, I'm 5th dimensional, I'm this, I'm that, we seem to lose some street cred here on planet Earth. We seem to feel like we're spun up into the ethos. And all of my work, and I'm an alchemist, I'm an energy guy, but I am also rooted, grounded into the earth. If there's one thing, Jessica and I wrote a book on barefoot running and barefoot walking. What does this mean? It means we want to embody this meat suit. I don't want to just play the game up here and neglect the 3-dimensional world or 4-dimensional world down here. I want to play with it. I want to use it. I want to rock it. So we work on the as above, but we bring it firmly down below. You want to solve the problems going on in the streets today. You want to solve the problems going on with everything. We get to play up here. That's your fifth dimensional level. That's the level of spirit. But then we anchor it and bring it down. There's a parable. In fact, I've heard the parable now in probably 3 out of the last 5 books I've read. And the parable basically goes like that. There's a pious guy. And there's a pious guy who's always lived his life believing in God, praying to God, talking to God in a sense. I'm not sure that he's heard back. And yet where he lives, there's a giant flood. The rains have been coming and coming and coming and coming, and the waters are starting to rise. And this pious guy goes, God, please protect me. Please save me. People come knocking on the door and say, you have to get out of here. The waters are rising. Your home is going to be swept away. And he goes, I'm a pious guy. I pray to God. God will take care of me. I will be fine. It's quite beautiful. And they leave. And then the waters have risen. And now people come back with a motorboat pounding on his door. I'm not even sure he can answer it. Maybe he speaks through the mail slot. And they say, you've got to get out of here. Your house is going to be swept away. And he says, I'm a pious guy. I have a great relationship with God. I pray all the time. You could say, I work in the 5th dimension. I'll be fine. They nod their heads in disbelief, and they've got to go on to save somebody else. And then finally, the waters have risen so much. He's crawled through the attic. He had to kick out a vent. He fortunately made it onto the roof rather than being pinned in his attic. Something very dangerous to do in a flood is you don't want to go into the attic. And he's now on the roof. And a helicopter comes by and a rope ladder descends. Grab the rope ladder. No, I'll be fine. I've prayed to God. God will take care of me. They leave. He drowns. He goes to God at the pearly gates and he goes, God, why'd you let me down? Why'd you forsake me? And God says, why didn't you leave with the people at the door? Why didn't you take the boat? Why didn't you grab the ladder and take the helicopter? So we want to play on that energetic side of the veil. But then we get to root it down in here now. We get to play our game on both sides and step forward. Next question. D. Rob, I've been asking a lot of questions these days. Before I wouldn't ask anything. Why is this? Well, D. Rob, I think this is, I'm going to go back to a running analogy. In the marathon, if you've ever run a marathon or heard of anybody who runs a marathon, you hit an energetic, you don't have to, but most people hit an energetic wall at mile 20. And they're exhausted. They don't know if they can continue. They don't know if they're going to make it. Everything is shaken to the core. And at mile 20, everyone becomes religious. Everyone is, God, please get me to the finish line. God, I'm struggling so badly. God, I'm suffering so much. Help me, God, help me, God, help me, God. D. Rob, we are at mile 20 in the marathon of humanity, in the marathon of COVID, in the marathon of this madness. And so if we didn't ask questions before, we sure are now. And those questions are great. Keep the questions coming. No question is too silly. Remember, energy flows where attention goes. So watch the wording. Wording is so important. If you ask, why are things so effed, you know what, then that's more of what we may get. If you ask, what are the possibilities? What are the pregnant possibilities that can be birthed out of what appears to be a crazy, wild, energy-filled time? Then that is what can happen too. Zoe got it. Zoe, I'm not sure if you even know you got it, but you got it. New Earth. Why are we creating a new Earth now? How is this new Earth going to be birthed? How are we creating a new Earth with each thought, with each action, with each choice, with each decision, with each moment? Woohoo! How does it get any better than this? We watch what questions we ask. We watch where we put our attention. We watch if we're being a tap in our lives or a drain. Everything up to now has served us to help us for something more. We get to consciously choose it, and we choose it with our minds. If we choose to dwell on the, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, then what are we creating? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. If we see the oh my God, and I'm not saying put on your blinders. I look at the oh my God every day. And we go, all right, how do I rock it now? All right, how do I switch this energy? All right, where can I positively go from here? Oh boy, do you become unstoppable. And that's how we create the new Earth. Beautiful, beautiful question. Thank you, D-Rob. Jade Music. How about engaging habits that don't serve you and keep you from your dreams? Jade Music. I would chip away at the habits. Now it's interesting. I both am and I am not a cold turkey kind of guy. I can drop a habit, most habits, cold turkey, most habits. But I think more importantly, for long-term stick and for loving yourself up, is to chip away little by little without judgment. Write down what all of your habits are. See how the habits are affecting your life. Pick one habit and lean into changing that with everything you got. But I don't just believe in changing habits of flipping a switch. What can we learn from the habit? How has that habit, this is going to sound crazy, been here to serve you? The majority, if not all people who are addicted to any substance, let alone addicted to anything, it's actually a protective mechanism gone awry. I use alcohol as an example, not myself, but I use alcohol as a social lubricant. I used alcohol to get over fear. It served you. It was awesome. What a perfect medicinal. But then it kept going and kept going and kept going. So any of your habits have been here to serve you. For instance, procrastination. That means you're afraid of something. Rather than pick on yourself for procrastinating or saying, I'm not going to procrastinate anymore and trying to will your way through it, don't will your way through anything. Those days are gone. That's so young. That's so 2019. Instead, love yourself up and say, why have I been holding back? What am I afraid of? What can I learn from this? And what's one step forward I can take to shifting this habit and replacing it with something more positive? Feel into your habits. You go to take that drink and ask yourself, is this a tap or a drain? I feel like it's a drain and I still want it. All right, let's do two things. One, let's pause for 10 seconds and see if you still want it. Two, if you've got somebody you can reach out to, you can text, you can call, you can otherwise reach out to them. When you take this pause, particularly when you reach out to others, but when you take this pause, something I learned in bicycle racing, I've expanded out from there. In bicycle racing, you win or lose by tenths of seconds. And I don't mean in the sprint and the finish line. I mean, it's the decisions that you make in those tenths of a second. Do I stay? Do I go? Do I attack? Do I hold back? Do I go to the right? Do I go to the left? Those fraction of a second decisions change the entire outcome. In life, it's similar, but I'm going to say it's in 10-second increments. Do I drink? Do I not drink? Do I go on this website? Do I not go on this website? Do I do something else good, not good for me? or do I do something that's good for me? All of these things, if we simply pause for 10 seconds, we're able to come back to our wits and make another choice. However, with that said, no matter what you choose, no matter what you happens, no matter what your habits, what you may never have heard before, Jade Music, is that you're still perfect just as you are. And I say that not to keep you from your dreams, but so that you let go of the judgment and have forgiveness for yourself, so that now we can begin to fill your energy banks so we can step forward toward your dreams. Beautiful, beautiful question, Jade Music. All right, next question. Question for Michael I think it's from a Jessica. Give people some easy tools to use to transform.
From Q.
Quite okay. Give people easy to use tools to transform a negative state into a positive state. I just keep coming back to this meditation I did months ago now, called Puppy Love. And in Puppy Love, I encouraged people to imagine that they had a puppy in their arms, to imagine that they were petting the puppy. Imagine maybe they were getting some kisses, hypoallergenic kisses from the puppy. And just imagine that that puppy was treating them with such incredible, unadulterated, everything love. When we get to a negative state, if we can remember puppy love, sounds way too simple. If we can simply go back to that sense of love and goodness, of holding that puppy or that kitty in your arms and feeling it, imagining it, believing it, that can change everything. What are other techniques? Tapping. NLP is a great one. There are so many magical ones, but I would simply start with pausing in that moment where you feel terrible and shifting to another channel. Switch to K-Pup, all puppy all the time. When you do that, that puts a pattern interrupter, a disruptor, or you could say a monkey in the wheel of your negative. I'm not sure if it was Zig Ziglar, Napoleon Hill, might have been Bob Proctor. Your negative stinking thinking, and helps you to derail or stop that negative thinking and go to another channel. In our minds, we have patterns. They're called myelinated superhighways. When we get on a pattern, it's hard to get off. When you start to see one negative thing, you see another, 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 until you get a pattern interrupt. Puppy love is a beautiful pattern interrupt. When Jessica can do it, jabbing me in the sides with lobster claws is a perfect pattern interrupt. Switching, going, oh my God, that's awful. And switching, I've been known if I see something really terrible on the computer, Jessica sees that I just saw something really terrible, and she says, you should get off of that computer right away. I will inevitably type in one thing and one thing only. Love. And I'll click in Google or wherever I am, enter. Why? Because I have just changed the radio station and the frequency. Beautiful question, Q. Jade Music. How can you discern the difference between ego and higher self and automatic writing? Jade Music, a few different ways that you can do this. Most simply, when you do automatic writing and you play with it for a little bit, you get very clear that, well, this is a voice of love. This is a voice of wanting my best interest at heart. This is a voice of care, of kindness, of compassion. It's a good chance that's my higher self. This is a voice of shoulda, woulda, coulda. If only you did this. You need to act now. You need to do this right away. fear, worry, anxiety, dread, regret. But it's not a voice of, I love you, Jade Music. I love you, Jade Music. I love you, Jade Music. That's the voice of your higher self, of consciousness, of love itself, of whatever you want to label it. So that's the first way, is I would say, how does it feel, or what is the tone behind it? If I needed one more way, and I'm in automatic writing, and right now I've been asking some really, really big questions of automatic writing with our tour coming up, with so many beautiful pieces being juggled, which is kind of wild to see. I will literally type in automatic writing, is this my ego? And it will become very apparent to me. So beautiful, beautiful question. I'm going to shift a little bit more to the side as we are running with the sun. All right. Can the ego be a portion? This is from Rod. Can the ego be a portion of the higher self? Rod, I think that's the most brilliant question we've been asked tonight. And they've been some really good questions. Ego is you. You are ego. I'll repeat. Ego is you. You are ego. Ego is a part of you, a very vocal part of you. It's not the whole part of you. It's not that we are going to shed ego and ascend. We're going to destroy ego. We're going to abandon ego. We're not going to listen to ego. No, 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 no. No. Ego is here to serve you. Ego is your guardian angel in disguise. But we can learn so much from ego. I would certainly work, in a sense, it's your wounded inner child, work to heal ego. Work to, come here, ego. Integrate ego. Cool thing about ego, our egos are banging right now. They are kicking, they are screaming, they aren't in the run. They think they're in charge right now. Every single one of you, if myself included, every single one of us, take your pulse. If you have a pulse, you have an ego. And your ego is on some level out of control right now. Why? Because this is a year of reckoning. What do I mean about that? Go back and check our Dr. Michael Lennox interview in December or March or this month. We are in a year where everything that's been under the carpet is coming back up to serve us, to help us to heal. And ego is here to help you heal. Yeah, but isn't ego designed to keep us small? Isn't ego to keep us from our dreams? Isn't ego? No. Again, going right back to the beginning of the show, it's all about paradoxes, apparent opposites, which are really the flip side of the same coin. If we dive into ego, if we learn from ego, if we ask ego, why do you keep saying that junk to me? What you'll do is you'll unravel ego, and you'll learn so much about yourself, about your worries, fears, and concerns, and about how you can step forward toward your dreams. So, reiterating, Rob, ego is here to serve you. It is a part of you. It is a part of your higher self. There is only you. Okay, there's the you playing on this side of the veil, but it's still only energy, and it's still only you. If we go beyond that, it's a perception, because you are a piece of the whole, which is the one. Ego is a part of that too. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful question. Bacteria boy. I'm consuming news on social media when I wake up from when I wake up till I sleep. I constantly worry about a future. What's a good teeny tiny baby step into a healthier lifestyle? Set a wake up, do a morning routine of anything you choose, bacteria boy, and do not allow yourself to consume the news until 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever time you set. So we're not saying if you're consuming news, metaphorically speaking, 24 hours a day, let's go for 23 hours. Or if that's too much, go for 23 hours and 50 minutes. Or you can say, I'm going to go 5 minutes less news a day. And you go, how am I going to pull that off? Well, set an alarm in the morning. And so if you're going to wake up at 7, maybe you have an egg timer by your bed, or you can set one on your clock, on your phone, and set the timer for 5 minutes. Say, I'll check the news in 5 minutes. And then the next day, set the timer for 10 minutes. Say, I'll check the news in 10 minutes. And tiny little chips away. My recommendation, chip away in the morning, chip away in the evening, so that you have a peace sandwich for your day. A little bit of bliss where you're not focused on that negative on the top, a little bit of bliss where you're not focused on the negative in the bottom, and then we can start to draw them either toward each other or start to create gaps. A last thing on this is, why don't you link the news to something positive? What's that mean? You said healthier lifestyle. All right, every 10 minutes you do the news, do 10 push-ups. Well, that's crazy, man. Every time you find yourself losing time doing news, do a bunch of sit-ups. Well, that's just crazy. Every time, you get what I'm saying, link something positive. Heck, if you did a 1-hour-to-1 ratio, for every hour I'm on the news, I will do a push-up or a sit-up or a pull-up or whatever. You're gonna get fit. Now, what if we did a push-up, pull-up, or sit-up with our minds? For each amount of content of negative, put that in quotes, content that I consume, what can I consume to balance it, or even more so on the other side? Brilliant, brilliant question. Thanks, Bacteria Boy. Pink, peace, please. What advice do you have for a first-time book writer like myself, for when we want to finish it sooner than later? Pink, peace, please. Books are really, really easy on some level, really complicated on another. But at its most basic level, you set aside time first thing every day to work on your book. Front load your book. Put it before everything else. Before everything, before everything, before everything. It can be, if you say, for instance, pink peace, please. If you say, well, it takes me 10 minutes to write a page. We'll take 10 minutes a day. That'll be 180 pages in 180 days. Or if it takes 30 minutes, can you set aside 30 minutes a day? Or maybe it's 15 minutes a day, and you have 90 pages written in 180 days. Chip away at it, tiny little pieces. So many people say, well, I'm waiting for the time to write the book, or I'm waiting for that vacation or that this. And I guess COVID is a great time for a lot of people to write a book. For myself, I've had to guard my time and front load it, even as a many-time book author. Just guard that time with your life, make it a part of your routine, and make sure it happens before the rest of the day pulls you away. I'm going to send you all my love, peace, please, because we need more authors. We need more great authors, and you can do this. Tara Furness. Why do I keep coming up people who say I'm being so fake, being so nice? I'm so fake being nice when I truly want what's best for everyone. We're all family and should show some compassion and love for each other. Tara, a couple different things. First off, people only can see what their filters will allow them, which means you can't please everybody or make them happy. We can't please everybody and make her happy. Thumbs up if you like this. Share this with everyone. But we don't have necessarily millions or billions watching this show here tonight. Someday we will. Woohoo! But that little action I just did there, woohoo, will actually scare some people away. Can you believe that, Tara? I will go woohoo, and I'm watching the numbers drop. Why? Because not everyone will resonate with your energy, and that's okay. Love themselves, love them up no matter what. Now, I don't want you to dim your light, but do watch your, what's the term for it? Context. Context is so cool. We have squirrels and chipmunks and golden mantle squirrels that we feed every day and sit in our lap. It's really, really cool. They'll sit in our lap one place, but if we go try to feed them in another part of the deck, they're all freaked out. What happened? We changed the context. When you meet with people who are freaked out by total love and compassion, see what you can do to meet them on their level and help bring them up rather than freak them out, like we can freak out the squirrels other places on the deck. This is very nuanced, but it's a fun thing to play with, because if you're too ahead, there's no judgment. You're not winning a race and there's nobody who's better than anybody else. But if you're too far ahead on that love path, then you may need to step back a few places to meet them, to help them come forward if they're ready. If not, you're so out there they can't even see you or understand what in the world you are doing. Beautiful, beautiful question, Tar. Holy smokes. Some great questions coming here tonight. Meredith Lorden. Michael, what are your thoughts on someone who is doing a cycle of contact block? I am looking at this cycle with compassionate disconnection. And I'm guessing what you mean, Meredith, and I'm not sure, but I'm guessing what you say is somebody who's reaching out and then they disappear. And then they're reaching out and then they disappear. It's not necessarily a bad oscillation, Meredith. It's somebody's coping mechanism right now. It sort of reminds me of electricity, which doesn't actually go anywhere. We think electrons flow, but they actually go positive, minus, positive, minus, positive, minus. And guess what? That's powering this computer, that's powering this mic, it's powering the internet, it's powering everything. Is it bad that it's going contact block? No. The judgment we put on it that says it's bad because it's only going one direction rather than straight AC or DC or however that works. So we can love this person up. However, if that contact block becomes a drain on you, you do not need to do the dance with them. I give you permission. You didn't need it, Meredith, but I give you permission to not play the contact block game. Love them up. That's what they need right now, but set and establish your boundaries and your rules for a healthy relationship. I'm willing to accept this, but not that. If you come back into my life, that's great. If you leave, I'm going to say goodbye. Not I'm going to welcome you back and welcome you back and welcome you back. That may be what they need, but it may not be at all what you need. This is a time where we get to be very true, very pono, very pure about our intentions. Energy flows where attention goes. And so if your attention is, oh my God, they're doing contact block, and that doesn't work for me. Great. You now know it doesn't work for you, and let them know I love you, whatever that means. But I can't do that dance. And then you have to stand firm to it. Send them love with everything you've got, but stand firm. Beautiful, beautiful question. KMG001 us, and there's probably a way to pronounce that I'm not getting. Can you speak to Ho'oponopono and proper usage? You know what I want to do for that one is I'm going to speak very, very briefly on it, but then I had an amazing guest on, a Hawaiian shaman, Jonathan Hammond. I believe it's Jonathan Hammond earlier this week. And he had a whole beautiful section in his book on Ho'oponopono, and we talked about it. And that will be, I think it'll be on this Thursday's interview. So I want you to check that out. And I am also going to dive into it some more, and I will talk about it with you a bunch next Sunday. I'm not putting it off now. I think it is the most beautiful, amazing healing prayer and forgiveness prayer. I think we can use it in all of our relationships. I have seen it work miracles with so many people on helping heal relationships. And I think perhaps the most important purpose or use of it is healing the relationship with ourselves. Now, I do it in this way, and Jonathan does it a slightly different way. And he says in his book, there's probably no right or wrong way. That's just what was taught to him. And I'm going to say there's just no wrong or right way. This is just the way that flows for me. I say, I love you. please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. He says, I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Either way, we are both saying it to ourselves and help healing our oneness. And we do that, we start to heal the world around us. I have seen too many miracles to ignore the power of Ho'oponopono. Just this past week, we had an interesting situation. I think it was 7, 8, 9 days ago now. We had an interesting situation, and it could not be resolved before going to sleep. And I did not know on a conscious level how to resolve it. I knew that Ho'oponopono is some mighty powerful juju. And I went to sleep. In fact, Jessica was trying to talk to me, and I'm like, I love you so much, but I'm in prayer right now. And I'm just cycling through Ho'oponopono and Ho'oponopono. And I could have done a better job with her. I'm still working on it myself. But I went through Ho'oponopono and again and again and again and again, and got the most beautiful email in the morning, followed by the next most beautiful email. And it was so, so special by working on that. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. Jade Music. But what if your ego is your worst enemy? Isn't this true for most of us? No, Jade Music. Your ego isn't your worst enemy. Your ego is the decisions you make based on the information or input you get from your ego. If your ego says jump off of a cliff, it is still your choice, Jade Music, whether to step off the cliff or not. If your ego, and Jade Music, this used to be my ego. Let's go for it here. Tells you you are a very worthless POS and you don't deserve to be here. That's not being your worst enemy. That is saying, Michael, Tier 1, I love you so much that you really need to work on this wound right now. You need to work on this more than anything else. I had a similar but lighter situation, Ego Light, earlier this week. And when I said to Jessica is, wow, I thought I'd gotten this piece of the equation taken care of, but I can see now how much more beautiful work, I was very, very careful with my words, how much beautiful work I get to do on it. Ego's awesome for pointing out your wounds. Ego's awesome for showing you what to work on. Ego's awesome for showing you where your fears, worries, or anxieties are and exactly where you get to step forward. So we think we're confused. We think ego is trying to keep us small to protect us. What if ego is actually there to get us to question everything so that we will, as Ram Dass says, snuggle up with all of our challenges, snuggle up with all of our fears, snuggle up with all of our worries, concerns, and inadequacies. And if we do that, can't ego help us to become the best, most beautiful, most upper room 5D version of ourselves ever? Make ego your best friend. Write to ego, listen to ego. If you write anything down that ego shares, shred it to help you get lighter rather than affirming it. But I know we're talking about energy flows where attention goes. But we're not saying stuff ego under the carpet. Listen to ego, hear ego, but from an energetic place of love. That's so different. If we say energy flows where attention goes, so I don't want to hear anything negative, anything challenging, anything, how would I have a coaching business? Only people I would accept as coaching clients are those that are perfect and they wouldn't need me. But instead, I'm engaging in a relationship, a dance to help somebody improve, whatever that means, to help somebody on their life path from a place of love. Approach your ego from that same place. You could approach it from a parent who wants to love up their child, or for somebody holding a baby in your arms, an innocent baby. Treat ego, even though ego may need a little mouth washing. Kind, gentle, easy, good. I don't do the mouth washing thing, but you get what I'm saying. Love up ego. Love her up with all you've got. Approach the relationship from a place of love. Edward, Katie, I've been mostly in a neutral emotional state for a while now. How does one cultivate higher emotions? Edward, we've got to play, my man. We have got to play. You want to cultivate higher emotions? Do things that are fun. Do things that light you up or used to light you up. Do things that put yourself in a creative process. And Edward, get yourself dreaming again. One of the hardest things about this COVID time is we've snuffed out our dreams. Do the reverse. Say, how can this time period help me toward these dreams? How can this time period help me have an even more enjoyable life? Why does life keep getting better and better? Why does life keep getting more and more fun? And then do those things, Edward, that bring you joy, little or large. They are cumulative. So you like cooking and you haven't cooked in a while? Cook a little bit. You love walking or going for hikes and you haven't done that in forever? Go for a little walk or a hike. You like painting and all you've got is, a charcoal pencil? Start doodling. Tiny little bits. This goes back to what I was saying earlier. Micro steps over a massive period of time have a cumulative compounding effect. You don't need it all at once, but start chipping away at what's fun for me. You don't know what's fun for you? There's a homework assignment I gave in our, I think it was our boot camp. Yeah, it was our boot camp last Thursday. And I'm sure there are links below for you to be able to check out our boot camps, and can't recommend it enough. It was to write down 75 things. That list is huge. 75 things that are fun, that you have fun doing, or that you had fun doing. This is going to seem incredibly challenging, Edward, and that's the point. Because at the beginning, you're going to find things that don't really light you up, but you're going to put them down anyway. And then you're going to keep digging, and then you're going to get digging, and you're going to find some things that you completely forgot about that really, really light you up. So dive into those 75 and challenge yourself. If you can't succeed, but you have anybody else in your life, ask them, hey, I'm really stuck and struggling here. What are some things that you've seen that I really light up, come to life, that I like to do? It's hard because right now, last point on this, Edward, whenever I say that, something else comes up. Right now, we feel like we need to protect ourselves. We feel like we're under attack, Edward. Let's be truthful. We feel like whether it's whatever channel or whatever you're listening to, Facebook news, anything Martian, we feel like we're being attacked. And so we want to put up the walls and protect ourselves. And so things lose their tenor. They lose their enjoyment. They lose their fun because we have walled ourselves off. We get to work on dropping those shields of leaning into the fear, of leaning into the concerns, of writing about those fears and concerns. That's why I think automatic writing is more important now than ever. And programming your mind at night. Oh my God. But we get to lean into those worries and concerns and pull on those strings to be able to drop those walls. What's this mean? It means I'm giving you two things to do. One, write down 75 things that you like to do and do at least one a day, at least one tiny one a day, Edward. And secondly, do a clearing process. Do EFT, emotion code tapping, or do EFT, emotional freedom technique. Do emotion code from Dr. Bradley Nelson. Do shamanic clearing work. Do shamanic journeying. Come to see me for some coaching where I'll help you clear. Do something to start to get you beyond that fight or flight response that is numbing you up. Terry's saying do weed. The challenge with doing weed is in the short term, and I'm not opposed to any substance. There's a time and a place for everything. every substance, there's probably a time and a place for everything. The challenge is I've had way too many coaching clients use weed as a tool, as a coping mechanism, and it's great as a tool. This is, again, where we get into addictions. But it is a depressant. Over time, it walls you up from feeling, which means things stop becoming as enjoyable. Now, I can hear a lot of people saying that's not the case for me. My guess is in moderation, it doesn't have to be the case. Nothing has to be the case. And I'm not saying weed bad. I'm not saying anything bad. But if you're trying to find greater happiness, usually it's not coming from the weed. Usually. As I put in my automatic writing book, there are no rules in life. We are all an experiment of one. But it is a worthwhile question to ask yourself. All right. Few more questions, then we're going to wrap things up here. How do we protect our energy? Whoa, blissful harmony. That is a great, great question. First, we protect our energy with intention, not coming from a place of fear of how do I protect my energy, but coming from a today I'm going to hold on to my energy. Today I am going to watch my energy. Today I am going to be more in control of my energy. I equate energy, and I'm trying to think of what kind of a tool this, we're going to call energy a whirling dervish. And if you've ever seen a whirling dervish, they have this giant skirt. These dancers have this giant skirt that can spin out more or come in more, depending on how fast they spin. You could also think of it like a figure skating dancer. When their arms are out more, they go slower. When their arms are in, they spin faster. You can equate this spin out and in to your energetic field. And when you set intention, you can start to play with how far out do I want my field to expand? How far inward do I wish to bring it? Energy flows where attention goes. If your attention goes to holding on my energy, holding on to your energy, recognizing your energy, seeing where there are energetic leaks, and then working to bring in that energy, you completely change your energetic relationship with the world. Now, can we go into prayer to help? Yes, I do it on a daily basis. I go to the archangels. I go to a guardian spirit animal, Maximilian the lion. Can we go to a basic prayer? Yes, absolutely. I'll teach you one right here. Can we go to whomever or whatever? I'd say go to the highest level you can and ask for assistance, but then pay attention to your energy. Early years of my relationship, and Jessica would say, yeah, the early years were until a couple minutes ago. The early years of our relationship, I barfed energy all over Jessica. I had no control over it. But now I watch my energy. I pay attention to my energy. I don't always stick to holding my energy here, although I do better than ever. But if I catch my energy going out all over the place, I can draw it back in like this. Here's the prayer. Thank you, God. And you can, I say God, I don't believe in a bearded white dude up in the sky. I believe in love and energy, a field that is everything. So I'm going to call it God, but you can replace it with anything you want. Thank you, God, for guiding me with your love and light. Thank you, God. Write this down. Thank you, God, for guiding me with your love and light. Thank you, God, for surrounding me with your love and light. Thank you, God, for protecting me with your love and light. Thank you, God, for imbuing me filling me, imbuing me with your love and light. And you can say, as you're doing this, you can imagine this golden egg or orb of glowing, sparkling little sparkles coming off of it. Love and light that you are surrounded in and you are protected in. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I say this each and every morning. I say this at key times throughout the day. And it is a simple way to both recruit assistance and become conscious of your energy so that it isn't hoovered away. So I think just about out of time. I'm going to try to take these last two questions here. Then we're going to call it good for tonight. And then come join us on Thursday. Oh my God, are we going to have fun together? Are you going to be able to sleep better? Are we going to help you go from having drain in your life to turning sleep into the most magnificent tap? We're going to help you working on the energetic side, really focusing on this attention goes where energy flows, where attention goes. And we are going to help you transform your life and take you from what feels like at best a time of survival, take it to a place, I keep on saying this word, it's not a real world, but it ought to be, to a place of thrival. And that'll be this Thursday evening. I believe it is at 6:30. It's 6:30 my time. It'll be at 8:30 Eastern time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 Mountain, 7:30 Central. And can't wait to see you there. All right, two last questions. Tara Furness, how do you set up boundaries with narcissist family members? I want to go grab my scissors, Tara. It requires being firm, being strong, and doing what you can, which is hard in a COVID time if you are living with these family members, to step back as much as you can. You can't dance with a narcissist. You have to be firm. Narcissists, as a general rule, will vacillate between I'm the greatest and I'm the biggest victim. You just hurt me again. And they will play you with that guilt. The only answer is strong boundaries. So Tara, tonight, I want you to write out what kind of boundaries you want. And my guess is, Tara, because even if you're asking this question, it means you're an empath, which means you're sensitive, which means you can't go far enough. So I want you to put your boundaries way out there, way out there. And then let's stick to one boundary, to another boundary, and to another, one after the next. Put one boundary in place at a time, but protect your energy with all it's worth. Get the book by Dr. Christian Northrup. I think it might be called Energy Vampires. Use it, eat it, love it, live it. Last question from Jody Ann. Last question of the night. Can we include things that we intend to do this year that we know we will enjoy? Can we include them? Well, I'm not sure the context, Jody, but yes, I would include them everywhere. If you're saying for daily intentions, certainly we are writing, well, I wrote this morning, not just about what I intend for the day, but what I intend for the year, what I intend for our tour, what I intend for our future kids, what I intend for, and what I intend for. I am saying, universe, help me to co-create this. This is what I'm looking for. This is what feels good to me. And so, Jody Ann, I wouldn't write these things out if you don't feel them, if you don't mean them, if you're not in that place. But if you are in a place of going, I'm rocking this year, I'm rocking this world, these are my dreams, these are my hopes, these are what I want, woohoo! There's an exercise we teach in our programs called the Woohoo 8, which is about getting into this woohoo state, whatever that looks like for you, when you're setting intention, emotion, energy and motion. Energy flows where attention goes. When you bring emotion to your attention, or intention as the case may be, you can't help but bring it about if it's supposed to happen. There is an amount of wiggle room because the universe has a soul contract with you and is going to help you, which is why I always say in my prayers, for my highest good and the highest good of all, meaning I don't have the answers. But when you approach your intention from a place of emotion, you don't just 10x it, you don't just 100x it, but you take it to a completely exponential new level. All right, I'm going to check and see here. I don't see anything else on my cheat sheet. And so I'm checking with Jessica to see if there's any last things that I'm supposed to share, that I'm supposed to say, that I'm supposed to otherwise. And she's going to type them in here if there is anything. And if not, I want to wish you the most beautiful energy flows where attention goes week ahead. I want you working on that sleep. Come joining us on Thursday night. We are going to take your sleep and your evenings and therefore your lives to a whole new level, helping you anchor it in this Thursday evening. And then just set a little bit of an intention tomorrow. What are we talking about? Living life more awake and aware with you as the creator, putting you back in the driver's seat. So last note that I have is we have a coupon code that, wow, it expires tonight at midnight. So it gives you an opportunity to join our program for $50 less. How does it get any better than this? And that is use the coupon code Magic Sleep 50. All one word, MAGICSLEEP 50, Magic Sleep 50, and you can save $50. And that's only before midnight. If you're watching this after midnight, then you can use the new coupon code Magic Sleep 40 and save $40. MAGICSLEEP 40. And the URL one more time that people would go to for that, I'm guessing it's inspirenationuniversity.com.
/magic.
It is inspirenationuniversity.com / oh, Jessica's going to put it right here in the chat room. We will have it here in the comments as well. Can't wait to see you guys on Thursday. You are magnificent. You are magnificent. I don't even have the words for how great you are. If you can help yourself by being kinder, by being more loving, by being more gentle, by forgiving yourself, even the tiniest little bit for anything or everything. I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you. Or I love you, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you. If you can just peel away one tiny little layer a day, a tiny little layer a week, you start refilling your energy bags. You become the tap rather than the drain. And each one of our minds has been a drain. And you become completely unstoppable. So thank you guys so much. I'm going so much because I'm reading a donation came in from my third eye realizes realize. And so I started repeating it. Thank you so much. My third eye realizes realize for your kind donation. I love you guys so much. Keep on shining bright. Have a magnificent evening ahead. And thank you so much, Pookie, for running this magnificent show and magnificent chat tonight. And thank you, everybody who has been holding space here tonight. You are magnificent. Love you guys so much. Keep on shining bright. Oh, do we know we've got Tuesday? We've got a YouTube premiere. How fast can I find out? If I go to monday.com, we will have a premiere, which means our guest will likely be with us for our show Tuesday night at this same time. And Tuesday night show will be, we're pulling this up here on our production board. It will be probably Jonathan Hammond, if not Bruce Feeler. We have Bruce Feeler. So we are going to have Bruce Feeler on. That is going to be a really cool interview. If you can make it on Tuesday, we are going to be talking about the story of your life and how when you learn how to change your story changes. What do I mean by that? More freedom, feel better, feel lighter, more confident, more on fire, more able to step into your dreams, let go of grief, let go of regret, let go of judgment. Everything, everything, everything about your life can change when we share how you get to work and play with your story. So that will be an awesome, awesome, awesome show. And I'm pretty sure Bruce Feeler will be there with us, with me in the chat room on Tuesday night, with me and Jessica in the chat room Tuesday night. And that will be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Again, 6:30 Mountain Time, 7:30 Central Time, and different time zones across Europe. And I know we've got guests from Asia, or people watching from Asia. It'll be in the morning in Asia time as well. There's a technical term, Asia time. So can't wait to see you then. Love you guys so, 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 so much. Keep on shining bright. You've got this. Woohoo! Love you guys. And Pookie.